Hey folks, welcome back. I'm your host, RR Slugger, and today I wanted to make a video unlike my typical fare. If you've seen my work before, you'll likely know that I usually talk about LEGO sets from 20 odd years ago, analyzing the parts that go into them and linking them to LEGO's overarching tapestry. Today, however, I wanted to switch things up a bit and talk about a model I constructed using some unusual pieces from a bulk lot I purchased over the summer. With an 8-cylinder engine, bubble canopy, and sci-fi wheels, this is the MEGA Tub Racer. Now, I have featured my own mocks and videos before, but I'm not sure if I've ever done so to this extent. What makes the MEGA Tub Racer special? Well, a couple of things. Firstly, the mega in the name isn't just a coincidence. This bubble dome canopy is not of LEGO origin, but rather that of the enemy, MEGA Bloks. Indeed, this is a mock that uses a non-LEGO element. In my defense, however, this canopy is absolutely rad. When I saw it, I knew I had to use it for something. But what? As you can probably guess, my mind always jumps to spaceships first and foremost. I had recently just built one though, so I decided to attempt a sci-fi race car instead. The style of windshield here looked suitable for either application, so then I just had to figure out how to utilize it. Well, these fingered hinges looked familiar to me, so I checked to see if they were compatible with LEGO's own connection system. Turns out they were. Kind of. As you can see, they were designed in a way that offered zero friction in the joint itself. This would be a problem in keeping the canopy closed when handling the model. I figured a stud connection would be needed in the back in order to secure the windscreen. However, LEGO's tile-based finger hinge joint oddly positions the fulcrum in the middle of the stud. The MEGA Bloks canopy piece was evidently not designed for this, as it then couldn't align properly with the studs beneath it. It became clear to me that the MEGA Bloks sets that used this piece must have done so in a different way. However, us fans of LEGO have been utterly spoiled by the amount of online preservation that has gone into cataloging this hobby. Have you ever tried to look up information on a different brick building brand? Well, I have. I started by searching blocklink.com and, well, that went as well as you'd expect. What was I even gonna search here? It's not like there's a mold number I could look up, and even if there was, it's not like there's an online database to cross-reference it with. I settled on MEGA Bloks Space 1990s and started sifting through the results. Eventually I stumbled across Planetoids, a MEGA Bloks space theme from 1997. There I saw a familiar shape. By the way, in searching up Planetoids, I also came across this YouTube channel covering the theme that really impressed me. Visuals like these in a video from almost a decade ago? Nicely done. The narration is all in Spanish, but if you speak the language, I think you'll enjoy their work. They also uploaded an old TV commercial for Planetoids that I will now play in full because of how awesome it is.
Planetoid City's under attack. Activate Planetoid Battle Station. Cyporians, man your station. Start motorized Skyrim. Ignite Spotlight Cannon. Prepare for blast off. Look out, we're Obsidian.
Honey,
Yeah?
time for dinner.
But I'm saving the city, maybe even the planet.
Now, William.
Told ya.
New Planetoids NX009 city construction toy from MEGA Bloks. Reptilian fighters sold separately, batteries not included.
Anyways, investigating this theme showed me that the canopy piece I was using was attached to a fulcrum element that doesn't exist in LEGO. Since I only had the windshield and not the connector, I had to get creative with my approach. I could have potentially looked into out-of-system solutions using jumpers, but I decided to go a different route. What if I could create the friction needed using snot-based construction rather than studs? I would need to target a completely different part of the canopy then, the back. After experimenting, I found a plate plus tile ratio that provided just enough friction to hold the canopy in place without applying too much stress to the parts. This is the method that we see used in the final build, and I'm really satisfied with how it turned out. The driver's chair actually provides the perfect lip to complete the connection. I'd call this a successful use of a strange non-LEGO part. So, how about a successful use of a strange LEGO part? If you've watched my Time Cruisers retrospective series, then you might already be familiar with this next one, the Belleville Bathtub. Part 30018 is certainly an odd one. Only ever having been released in white, it was used in a whopping 3 sets over the course of its life. The most notable and perhaps creative use was in the Whirling Time Warper, at least according to this slug. I wanted to do something similar here, using the bathtub as a chassis for the car. As you can imagine, this presents certain problems though. While the tub is kind enough to be lined with studs on all sides, the basin has a curvature to it that prevents larger plates from being attached. The piddly 4 studs in the center is all we have to work with here. I ended up doing what they did in the Whirling Time Warper and used a 2x8 plate along the bottom of the tub to increase the viable surface area. From there, I added a little extra height and a space chair so the driver could see out the front windshield more easily. I also decided to make the controls overhang from above and got to utilize this old printed computer piece on an inverted slope brick. Pretty cool. While I was mostly using the tub just to challenge myself, I think there's something to be said for how the curved underside actually adds some sleekness to the vehicle. A happy accident, perhaps. With those main elements in place, I was able to expand outward from there and complete the rest of the build. The Rock Raiders wheel type felt like a perfect fit for a vehicle this size, and I always jump at the chance to use them in white. Blue felt like a natural color to pair with the white everywhere else, both aesthetically and as a little callback to Time Twisters. I settled on dark gray for my neutral tone, and once again, this is an RR Slugger mock that doesn't use any pieces in black. Another challenge I like to set for myself sometimes. As I was building the vehicle, the function it would serve wasn't yet decided. Would this be a space rover for exploring? A futuristic civilian car? Eventually, I decided on race car for a couple of reasons. Firstly, I opted not to add lights to the vehicle. There were spots on the front bumper where I very easily could have placed some headlight bricks, but I didn't want to visually distract from the canopy piece and introduce other colors into the palette. What type of car wouldn't need headlights? Well, maybe a sci-fi racer on a well-lit futuristic track. The second point that screamed race car to me was the fact that I opted not to include any storage space. Indeed, this whole rear section is just bricks, and would feel like wasted space if this was supposed to be an exploratory vehicle. As is though, this is the location of the powerful 8-cylinder engine that propels this race car down the track. I built the driver out of a combination of LEGO Racers and LEGO Spyrius parts. The head was initially supposed to be a placeholder until I found something better, but try as I might, nothing better came along. If I had to choose one minifigure head design to call my absolute favorite, it would be this one. Some last little details I wanted to talk about include how the slope of the canopy runs nearly parallel to the 1x2x3 slope bricks beside it. A pair of 1x2 cheese slopes on each fin help keep these blue bricks aligned properly. Lastly, this half-curved 2x2 tile inside the cockpit echoes the curvature of the bubble canopy above it. Though it functionally serves no purpose, I think it's satisfying all the same. Anyways, that's the Megatub Racer. What do you think? Hopefully you enjoyed this little look at one of my mocks and my thought process behind it. We've got lots of LEGO stuff to talk about in the coming months, and I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for watching, everyone. I've been your host, RR Slugger, and I'll see you next time for another video.